Hey guys, welcome to Plan and Order. Today I'm going to do a plan with me video where I plan out our schedule for 2025-26 fourth grade. Okay, so this is a planner that I created in Canva and then published on KDP, and every year I kind of tweak it as I use it and I find things that I want a certain way. I go in and I update it, and basically this is the best route for me just because there's a lot of homeschool planners that I like out there. I love planners, hence the name of the channel. Like, I used to be very much into Happy Planning and Erin Condren, I mean, you name it. But with homeschool, I found that there were certain things that I really wanted in my planner that were very particular to me that could benefit other people, but for the most part, like, I really just couldn't find specific things in certain planners, mainly around if you homeschool with a charter. And so that's why I created my own. And then I don't just use my planner when homeschool planning. I actually use a combination of a physical planner, Trello, and then I use Google Docs, Sheets, all different kinds of things. I kind of use a combination, but the majority of my planning is in a paper planner and in Trello. And so as I share like my planning videos with you, you'll see that there's a bunch of different ways that I plan, and there's, you know, different reasons for different ways that I plan. I tried to do it all in Trello. I've also tried Homeschool Planet, and it's doable. It's definitely doable, but it's not my particular preference. For some reason, I have to have something tangible to go along with the electronic format, and that's just what works best for me. I'm not quite sure why. But one of the reasons I mentioned that is because I already have my schedule planned out using Google, and so that's what this is. And so basically I'm just going to take this and kind of walk through it and then transfer it into this. And I do this for semester 1, and then I also do this for semester 2, because there are different curricula that I will plan or teach each semester. So for example, for Earth Day, for that week, we'll be doing an overconsumption unit study that I'm putting together, but that's only going to be, you know, unit study is only going to be in semester 2, so that wouldn't be in this first semester. And then same with another unit study that we're going to be doing, going over creations of YouTube videos, and so that will only be in semester 2, so that won't be in this semester. And that's the reason I kind of break it down, because our schedule changes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and I will start transferring things over and then just kind of talking through them as well. So the very first part of our day, 30 minutes to an hour is spent on something that I just call warm up. And really this includes handwriting, it includes calendar work, it includes word of the day and poetry. And so all of that we do in the first part of the day, our morning session of homeschool. And it usually takes only like 30 minutes to get through that. On Friday, she has a longer allotted time, and that's because Friday's really our light homeschool day, and it's really mostly fun items. And so instead of handwriting that day, she, you know, plays usually a computer game of some sort, and what she has to pick through is either Night Zookeeper or Prodigy Math or Adventure Academy. And so she basically you know, has a very light morning and gets to get in some game schooling when it comes to those mornings. Okay, so let's get our warm up in here first. And so this is an example of something that I'm going to change next year. I used to break all this down in here where I would figure out how many lessons and then use that to do the math with how many per week. And I do all that kind of offline. I do that more when I'm creating this. And so I think this column is going to go away basically in next year's planner because I don't use it for this anymore. But I do use this one, how many lessons per week. And so handwriting, we do 3 times per week. We do it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And for poetry, we're going to do it 4 times a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Word of the day. Five days a week. And then binder. And so what this is calendar, practice. And what I mean by practice is she does her handwriting, which is cursive, but then she also does, they're basically handwriting sheets, but it's with information that's important for her to memorize, like address, the months of the year, things like that. And it's just repetitive, you know, things that she'll need to remember, our phone numbers, birthdays, that kind of thing. And so that's what practice is. And then also this is when she does her daily chores, and that is every day. And then games, which Prodigy, Venture Academy, and Night Zookeeper. And this is just on Fridays. Okay, so then we have our grammar and writing. And this is EIW. And this is 4 days a week. This really varies. Sometimes it's less than 4 days a week. Sometimes it's every day of the week. It just really depends. But typically I keep it in the 4-day range. And we have spelling. And this is spelling connections. And we do that 4 days a week. Monday through Thursday. Then we do reading. And we do all about reading. We do that 2 days a week. And this is one of those curriculums where this will most likely only be for semester 1, because I think she'll be done with level 4 by semester 2, and then in semester 2 we'll switch it to words. And then so next we have literature. And then this is just a range of books that we're going to read, but we plan on doing this on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so 2 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, math is 4 days a week. We do math with confidence. And we do this Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then social studies. We're doing studies weekly. And we're doing this 4 days a week. History, Curiosity Chronicles, and this is going to be 2 days a week, Thursday, Friday. We're going to do the majority of it on Thursday. We'll listen to the chapter and we'll do the activities and the activity book. And then on Friday, whatever we don't finish on Thursday, we'll do. And then mostly it'll be a time slot for her to do her Minecraft build for that lesson, for that week. And science, also studies weekly. And we're going to be doing this 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Nature study. We're going to be doing, I think it's called Seasons of Field. By Beautiful Feet. We're going to be doing this just on Fridays. Art. Artistic Pursuits. This is just on Fridays. In Spanish, we're doing a combination of flip-flop and I can't think of the name of the other curriculum. I think it's Getting Started with Spanish. And that is going to be 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then life skills. So I have this all lumped together in here, but I think I'm going to break it up in here. So for life skills, this is a variety of curriculums. I'm trying to think if I can think of them all off the top of my head. It's like health, growth mindset, life skills book, cooking, just anything that kind of falls into life skills. I think I'm going to make sure I have them all correct before I start writing them down, even though this is erasable. But basically we do this on Fridays. And then I also had lumped in here typing under life skills, but I'm going to break that into a separate thing. And this is type C. And so we do this 2 days a week, Monday and Tuesday. And then I don't track the times on here. This is really more so I can look at Monday and make sure I have my schedule of what we're supposed to hit on Monday, Tuesday, and vice versa. When I actually do the time portioning, it's just because I want to see where I can fit things. So if I know that EIW is going to take, which EIW doesn't usually take 40 minutes, but I like to overestimate because I'd rather have extra time than feel like I'm behind on schedule. And so, but like using that, I can know that, okay, like we're getting really high up in the hours, like when I start breaking them down. And so I know, like, if I end up with like 6 or 7 hours, like, and I have 3 hours here, then I'm going to allocate some to this day to try to make it more even. Ironically, Friday looks like it's the most hours and it's our most laid back day. But like I said, a lot of that is because it's gaming. So she has longer time in the morning for her warm up because she's able to play, you know, an educational game. And then same with history. You know, we'll be doing the majority of history on Thursday, which will give her the majority of the time on Friday to just do her Minecraft build, which is, again, really just educational building and or gaming. So that's why, you know, there's a much higher time total on Friday, and that's because I just give her more time to do fun stuff, to be honest with you. And so yeah, this is how I get my schedule down for the year. So now I know for semester 1, this is what my schedule is gonna look like. And then I'll do this again for semester 2. And that's also when I will make any changes that need to be made. The only time that this will change is if her extracurricular days are different than what we have on here. Like, I know Tuesday is a day we do a lot of classes, extracurricular classes for her. She does her enrichment classes. And then, you know, the rest can change. And I won't know that until the year starts, you know, because I won't know when she, you know, when her swim classes are, you know, I can shoot for certain days, but ultimately I'm usually pretty flexible with that. And then I'll just adjust if I need to adjust. But Tuesday is usually always a standard day that I know that we need to try to be a little bit lighter because she has her enrichment classes on those days. So that's how I get my schedule together. And so basically I'll take this schedule, and when I do my weekly planning, I'll use the schedule like as a cheat sheet to make sure I have all the lessons for that day planned out accordingly. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe, and I'll be putting up some more planning videos. I'm going to be getting up some more Trello planning videos as well as I build that out. And I think my next video will probably be covering how I organize my curriculum. So there's a few pieces of, there's a few different curriculums that I put a lot of work into when it comes to organizing to try to make the year go by more smoothly. And so the first one I think we're going to start with will be social studies. I hope you found this inspirational or got some good ideas off of it. Maybe got the creative juices flowing for you to go into your day and start organizing and planning out your homeschool for the upcoming year.